The irony was the very first person he met after that debate was a fellow Hungarian Jew who was a friend of mine. And then my friend said, and I became a Christian. So the very first person he met was someone who had transitioned from his background. That doesn't answer your question. It's a question I ask often.
Because God could correct this.
Well, this is just the point. And we have had these arguments and debates. A good God and an all-powerful God would, could, should, all this kind of stuff. And we never get a satisfactory answer to that. So I've come up with another problem, possibly because I'm a mathematician, and when we've hammered at one problem for centuries, we usually stop and try another one. My other problem is just as hard, but I think it gets me a bit further, and it's this. Every worldview must face a mixed picture. I call it beauty and barbed wire, or beauty and bombs. That's the world. It's mixed, and if you don't accept that, you're not in touch with reality. Now, here's my question. Is there anywhere evidence enough to trust God with that situation? That's a hard question.
And by that you mean the situation of the sort of geographical distribution of belief?
Yes, we'll never understand it or solve it.
But do we trust God?
Do we trust God ultimately to be absolutely fair? Because if God isn't fair in the end, he knows what everybody thinks, I believe. And we'll be surprised, maybe, at what he does, because he can measure how much people know. My responsibility is twofold. One, to respond to the evidence I've had, and then Christ tells me to go and share it. And that's what I do, and I've been doing all my life. It doesn't answer a question, but it gives you motivation. And the alternative, to rule God out, has so many negatives to it that
I think, yeah. So when I think about what I understand of the Bible, there's a particular part of the Bible that talks about the only way into heaven is through Jesus. And from that, I inferred that the only way to get into this great place that everybody wants to go to is by believing in Christianity.
But does everybody want to go to it? I'm not sure that they do. I have met many people who, when they hear what Christ offers, they reject it. But that's another point.
So if we talk about this distribution,
yes,
sort of birthright distribution of what you believe, and then those that believe this one particular thing are going to get into this heaven, it feels unfair